a special sandbag deck, and I don't really know how to describe like the kind of deck that I'm trying to make, but I mean it's like a kind of like a, I guess you call it like a fun deck. It's not an archetyped. What I would really kind of, I guess, explain it as is kind of when I remember in my childhood playing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and just for an analogy, like I remember Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Monsters was really like it was very authentic, I think, to the experience of like Playground Yu-Gi-Oh. Part of that because Playground Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess you could say, is based off of the anime, but Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Monsters, the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, was very authentic to that, and that people were playing these decks of kind of like random cards, and it was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna beat you with my most powerful card, and like, I guess what you could say is that back in my back in the day, right? As kids, I used to play that game. I don't know, maybe we all did. As kind of it was kind of like a collector's trading card game, and I don't mean that in the kind of conventional negative sense of like, oh my god, this is a collector's trading card game. It's just so bad. It sucks, you know. No, I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it as like, oh, nobody plays the game. It's just collected. I mean it as you would play with the cards from your collection, right? I have just a bunch of cards that I got from booster packs or Walmart, however, right? I wasn't like buying singles or studying sets before they released or even knowing that much about the game to like strategize around. Instead, I was playing against a deck. It would be a new deck and cool thing to experience, right? And we'd be playing with these random cards and it would just kind of be like a mishmash of all of our so-called best cards. And I remember playing Pokemon. It was really fun because I was playing against collectors, right? We played with the actual rules, but we played. I taught them how to play, and they didn't then go out and say, "Okay, I'm building an actual deck." They said, "No, I have been collecting Pokemon all this time. I'm gonna build a deck for my collection, right?" And so I guess you could say it that this is kind of my attempt to make like a collector's deck. You could say of a bunch of random cards because in Sandbag, those random cards actually can build a really good deck. And I'll explain more while we're doing the video, but basically you don't have to build an deck in Sandbag. And there's three. No, there's nothing you can help me with. Okay, hopefully that worked. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, this is a cube, what you're looking at right now, which has a bunch of random cards from Sandbag, and or from set one that is, and I'm just gonna literally play a cube. So how that works is I can just go to the cube. If you ever want to do this, I may at some point give you the list for the cube, but it's really long. So you could go to cube, right? Select packs your player. I'm gonna be playing this cube by myself for fun to build a deck I might not even ever play with. You're gonna say that there are 7 players because you want to make sure that it doesn't fill in all the empty seats with bots. Um, so I'm gonna choose that there are 7 players. I'm gonna say there's 8 packs per player just because that's the max. And let's see, pack size. Let's see. Perhaps I'll try to do 10. I think it'll probably end up de 9. No, we'll try 10. It'll probably end up like decreasing that, unfortunately, but let's see what happens. Oh wait, I have to choose this. So yeah, basically the reason why these decks are really good in Sandbag is because think about it like this. Really, archetypes just come down to what locations you're running. And as long as you run a good location set for the cards that you're playing, as well as a good Sandbag set, you don't actually have to really worry about it being archetyped because if you're playing with a bunch of pretty good cards, then that's all right. And I can build a really fun, cool deck out of just some random cards. So we'll see what I get, and I'll try to build the deck that's pretty strong and pretty like collectory. Bunch of random cards. Okay, it looks like 6 was the maximum it could give me. But the good news is at the end I'm gonna get as many like extra sandbags as I want. And alright, definitely I want to take Ricochet Railgun because we're gonna want all the techs we can get because those are really good. And let's see. I would either take Lunacy and Evoker here or Bioengineered Dinosaur. I'll take Bioengineered Dinosaur. It's really just a really strong card. And already you see what's going on here, right? I'm just putting a bunch of strong cards into my deck. Very old squirrel. Well, actually, so here's the thing. Yami Gotika is pretty good for this type of deck because even if you're not playing Yami Godikins, it still board wipes everybody. So I'm going to take Yami Gotika. Let's see. I'll take Mystic and Evoker. And this is the thing too, a lot of Sandbag cards are fairly generic. Like even this Motorcycle Champion here, it gives your other soldiers +1 speed, which will be fun if I end up actually having some extra soldiers and that just happens to work out, but it also just has good stats, so I mean this is a good card to run. And basically another thing is that you want to have as much location coverage as possible. Oh dang. Oh, there are 2 of the really good locations for this, and a shield. I think we have to say screw the shield, because we need one of these locations. These are so good. Probably... Oh, Paradigm Lava one is so good, though. It's probably, in my opinion, like the best generic location. And maybe it's not the best, but it's like my favorite. Okay, this card is so good. Spiral Ghost? Yeah, we don't really have like a great boss, but I want that mid-range. Another Spiral... Oh, wait, no, Stream of Souls. Stream of Souls. I almost just missed that. Okay. Let's see. Lunacy and Mech. Yeah, we probably want a boss card here. And Paradigm UFO. I know I said this in our video, but this is so good. This video is also going to be like my commentary on cards being good. Because Paradigm UFO is such a good card. So is... Well, Yami Godika Tour Guide is, in my opinion, not like the best vanilla. But... Because speed is like not the most useful stat, but... Paradigm UFO is great. Oh my god. Yami Godika and Pencil Stalker. Let me tell you a little secret. Sandbag. Well, it's not really a secret. But this card is the, like, I think it's the only card that actually just got cut from Sandbag set 1. I made it and then decided it wasn't really worth the deck space in any of the decks. So who knows, this may make an appearance eventually, but I'm not sure that's the most useful card. Like, maybe it'll have like a revised effect or like a revised like stats or something, so that's a little bit more useful. But I mean, it's still technically useful because it's got that dual type, that type coverage. I was about to talk about type coverage earlier, but anyway, let me take something before this timer runs out. Probably take the shield. Just get as much text as possible. And, okay. Ascendant Bomb is really strong. That feels like it's a good card to be able to pull out of nowhere. Ascendant Airship, not my favorite. Part of me wants to really add this into the deck, even though it's not, even though my deck's not archetyped. I do have like a fair amount of Yami Godikins. Yeah, just for fun, right? That's what's so cool about this, is that you put together a bunch of cards that are just like kind of like random cards that you're like, oh, these cards have a good interaction. And sometimes you're literally running a card that's effect only applies to like one other card in your deck. But if you get those 2 cards, then that's nice. Alright, Lunacy and Zombie, I'll take that. Apparently the bot has caught on to the fact that this is not a useful card. I'm just gonna put it in the sideboard so that make sure it doesn't end up in my deck. But yeah, type coverage. If your opponent plays locations and you have great type coverage, if your opponent plays locations, what am I saying? Of course they're going to play locations. If you have good type coverage, meaning you have a bunch of different creature types, you have a bunch of different whatever, which you aren't going to do in an archetype deck. But if you are playing a non-archetype deck, like this collector's deck, you can benefit from your opponent's location, like no matter what location it is, because you have so much type coverage. So I'm building this deck with that in mind, and I think we could use a little bit more soldiers. I have a motorcycle champion, so Sandbag collector is really strong. Oh, there's another motorcycle champion. I kind of want to get like as many different cards in this deck as possible, just for fun. So I'm gonna take the detective duo. Another thing that's great about this is that you cover a lot of different like bases, I guess you could say. Different abilities and different stats that are helpful, so that you don't have very specific like. None of the archetypes are really based on being good at a stat, but the soldiers kind of are, right? None of them are. Well, Terran's soldiers kind of different. Terran's Swords Master, that is, because it has a good defense, but most soldiers aren't the best defensive wise, so that's always an option. Build a soldier deck and then just like throw in some defensive cards. Definitely fool around with structure decks and throw in some cards that you think can like patch up their weaknesses. I think with soldiers, like Paradigm UFO would actually be really good for soldiers, but that's just a theory. Or soldiers are kind of missing like anything that discards creatures from play to play them other than the Yami-Gotikin Knight, so there's that. I'll probably take the Yami-Gotikin Archfiend. It's a strong card. Did I in the end decide? Okay. Alright. Never mind whatever I was about to say. Bioengineered Dinosaur? Do we run 2 Bioengineered Dinosaurs just because it's that good? Okay, we can run 2 Yami-Gotikin Turgats. I feel like just having that nice base of like good vanillas is important. Oh wait, did this pack just have 7 cards in it? Yeah, it literally did. Okay. We'll see what happens then. Okay. I have said many times that Very Old Squirrel is a really powerful card, but it's also kind of janky. But I mean, it is a really powerful card. I really love Terran Drone, though. This card is useful, and it works with anything. Once again, like, this is a Terran and a machine, but it equips to anything. It has nothing to do with... it has nothing to do with Terrans or machines. It just has an ability. It's a cool card. Challenger from Bro 2. Nice, a little bit of draw power. I mean, what did I say about Paradigm UFO? We haven't taken a single Ascending Catapult, though, yet, so I'll take that. Have I played a draft? If you're wondering that before, I have, legitimately. That's how I introduced some of my friends to the game before I had built any structure decks. So we just played a draft. Don't have a Terran Soldier yet. Do I have a Limousine Invoker? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. I don't think that Village in Bro 2 is going to work with this deck. That's just like shooting myself in the foot. Anyway, Paradigm UFO. I said it was a good card. I'm taking it. I will stand by it. This card is so good. That's honestly just my strategic advice to you all. It's just Paradigm UFO is a good card. I feel like this. I should just make this a running joke at this point. The Paradigm UFO. It looks like we got 7 again. Okay, this location actually buffs so many different archetypes, so I'm curious about running that, but where's Railgun, I think, is first priority. And... oh, Target Fiend. Target Fiend or Revive Dragon. Or this Ascendant Sand Machine. Or this. Oh my god, there's so many cards I don't have. This card is so good. This card, honestly, like, I try to make sure that in my trading card game, well, specifically for Sandbag, I made another trading card game a while back that got really out of hand because there was so much draw power. And so I really have been trying to make sure that you can't just like plus hand size and sandbag easily. I mean, you can use sandbags, but that's not like gonna be a replenishable source of like extra hand size. Whereas I had cards that were, oh my god, we're running out of time. Okay, Revived Dragon. I guess we're just gonna. Oh, there we go. The timer reset. So I had a lot of cards that just said like draw two and like stuff like that. I'm like on play, draw another card. You would make a really big board and just win the game. So I've been trying being very careful with that, but once we get the other one back, I'll show you some stuff. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, so look at this Ascendant Sand Machine. Basically, this card, um, this is like the one exception to that in Sandbags. This card actually can plus a ton of resources. If you use this and Paradigm Stardust Sandbag, like that just went totally over my head. You can draw some free cards. If you have like 3 of these, which I know is very rare, but if you have 3 of these, you can remove a Sandbag to bounce your Paradigm Stardust pouch to your hand, and then discard that Paradigm Stardust pouch to play Ascendant Sand Machine. And you are literally just plussing hand size and recovering a ton of health. So this card is insanely strong sometimes, but it's honestly not my favorite card, so I'd rather take a Target Fiend. Because I feel like it's a little bit janky. I in terms of as a player of trading card games, I'm a big fan of not having jank. Ascendant Message Word. That's a good card. It will very rarely come up, but that will be the fun. That'll be the fun moment, is when this comes up out of nowhere. Okay, fine. I'll take it because I don't want to take Detective Duo again. I'm gonna go to Ken Archery. All right. I think we're leaning towards the like Yami Gotokin side of things. I want that. I did not even look at anything else. Yeah, I still want it. And let's see. Yami Gotokin Knight is good. Do I already have Yami Gotokin Knight? I do. And I literally already have all of these. I'm gonna take another Target Fiend though. Sandbag Collector. This is a really strong attacker. Sure. I've been building this deck without thinking about strategy like at all. Like I don't know what the goal here is, and you do have to be super careful. 3 Amigotic and Archfiends sounds like 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons to me. Alright, definitely not wanting Rising Angel, because that's just kind of useless for this deck. Would I rather have a good card or a card that has better stats and looks like it might be better? I'm gonna take Ascendant Catapult just for the fun of it. It's a little bit simpler. Although I think Luna Mystique and Evoker, in my opinion, is one of the best vanillas. Okay, I'm just gonna set that aside because you literally 3-1-3. At that point, the speed doesn't even matter because it's 1 speed. You're not going to be attacking your opponent, but you have such good stats. It's just like a 1 creature to have. And there have been games where I've played this so easily, and like I have my boss card and this, and it's just this is nearly like boss card stats. And it's kind of in between. It's where like only a boss card can really beat it, and the stuff weaker than a boss card are not going to beat it. Okay, Lunaseek is a fine location for this deck, but I don't think I want more locations. Looks like I already have some locations. I'll take Revived Dragon. Oh, we do not have a Terran Swords Master yet. I'm taking that. But we also don't have Very Old Squirrel yet, even though I said it was like the best card in the game. Other than Ricochet Railgun. We're taking more Target Fiends. This is actually just going to become a Yami-Go to Kadek, isn't it? Oh, we don't have this either. Or maybe we do. No, I feel like I said earlier that I was going to take it for the memes. Yeah, we do. Okay, we're taking Very Old Squirrel now. Very Old Squirrel is going to be like my, trump card, like no, it's gonna be like the ace card of Exodia. Yeah, Exodia, but it's just one card. Another ascending catapult. Cause that's called strategy, guys. I'm taking more Yami Go more guys. At this point, we're building Yami Godaka. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna run Linmasika, even though it is great for this. Okay, see, so now the way that I've built this cube is that I get to choose as many sandbags as I want to put into my deck. Well, let's see how many cards we have. So 16 plus... Okay, well, we're going to have to choose a location not to run. That seems like it's the most important priority. I'll take out Yanagonic, because that can just hurt me. But I think, though, we have a lot of stuff that will work with Abandoned Observatory, and then these are both... Where's Paradigm 1? Oh, those are two are going to be generic locations. These are really good for if you're building this type of deck. Now let's see. So 16 plus 17 plus 12. That means there are right now 33, 45, I want to say. Yeah, 45 cards in this deck. So I would like to have more than 5 slots for sandbags. I don't know if you've seen my video on the how to avoid sandbag flooding, but I think I'm going to build this as a low sandbag deck. So we'll get rid of the cards here that use sandbags. We'll see how many sandbag using cards to get rid of. I think I can get Return Swordsmaster and Lunacy Evoker, and definitely want to get rid of this because if we're playing low sandbag, then that could definitely just backfire. Oh, Bioengineered Dinosaur is much better for high sandbag. I'll take it out. I'll run one though, just because it's a nice little ace. Well, a nice little trick up my sleeve. Seeing an airship is not happening. Oh, this is really good. Like, I feel like if I'm discarding a sandbag and I'm playing low sandbag, I ought to get something really good out of it, so I'll keep that. Although that sounds like it should just be logic. Like, only play sandbags if you're going to get something really good. No, but in all honesty, cards that discard sandbag, high sandbag is really good as well. For those of you who haven't watched the video that I'm talking about here, high sandbag is when you run a lot of sandbags and a lot of cards to discard the sandbags. Low sandbag is when you just kind of build a deck that really doesn't have much to do with sandbags. And so, they're both really good. The great thing about high sandbag is that when you're playing certain sandbags, like Ascendant sandbags for instance, it's literally a good thing to have the added cost discard a sandbag, and you're getting better stats out of it. So sandbags can really just be free advantage if you're using them correctly, but I don't think this is going to use it correctly, so we're going to play low sandbag, hopefully. Let's see, I think everything in here is cards that I want to run. A little bit lamentable, I think we should have had more cards that were, like, easy to play. But, you know what? I tried. I was building cards with random stuff and not thinking, so I tried. And now we can finally just count up these cards. It looks like I have 35 cards. Oh. Here I was saying I was playing high sandbag. Or I mean low sandbag. This looks like high sandbag. 19. Wait, no. Yeah, 29, 35. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna add in some of these cards back. I guess we'll probably want more of this, because it's really good for the high sandbag. And then I'll add a sand machine back in. So I just added in a few cards. This is 21, 37, so 13 sandbags. Seems reasonable. I don't know that I'll be able to use all of them, but it seems reasonable. Yeah, we didn't have all the techs at max copies, so we'll get a Yami Gotoku variant. Sandbag. That actually explains why there's so few cards here. It's because there isn't all the text. Let's see. So Yamigotica variant is good. Definitely want a starter's pouch. If you are building your own deck and not playing a pre-built deck, and you're running Paradigm YL1, I highly recommend that you play like a very wide variety of sandbags, because this can search literally any of them that you need, and that you run Paradigm Starter's Pouch. Right now, part of my thought behind the sandbag set is these two cards are really great to be able to just search out of your deck, and guess what? I can search them out of my deck. So Lumasika variant isn't really that amazing to search out of your deck, because it'll just help you search more stuff out of your deck, but not like specific stuff, so it's kind of alright. I don't want to pay that much deck cost. So we've got 6 deck cost here, going for 11. Yeah, I like just running these. These are really consistent. Although this deck has so many one-ups. So maybe... No, I'm going to run 2 of those, and then these... Actually, no. I keep changing my mind. I'll run one of these, because this one's a really good sandbag. Being able to just stop and attack is so good. And so that way we have like a diverse sandbag set to kind of abuse Paradigm YL1. So that will mean 11 total deck cost, and then this is 27 plus 16, 43, so 7 more sandbags, or just cards. Let's see if I can add something in. Oh yeah, I'll put in the Lumaseeking Evoker. So that means it's no longer 7 more sandbags, it's actually just 6 more sandbags, so regular sandbags. I think unfortunately when I save this, these are not going to end up in a side deck, but who knows, maybe if I just put them all the way over here, there's a chance. Alright guys, here it goes. I'm done save my deck. Save deck and leave cube. Yes, this is a way of breaking untapped and you will get an 11th deck, but you won't be able to edit it. 93 cards? What? Yeah, but only 50 of them are in the deck. Because these are all separate. Wait, how is there only 50? Wait a minute. Oh, guys, I did this wrong. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I did it wrong. Somehow my math did not math. The locations are somehow part of the 50. But, whatever. Thanks for watching, everybody. That was my video on building this deck. I mean, I know there wasn't really much of a point, but I thought it was just a fun thing to do and just to get some of my commentary on the cards, and just to also showcase that this kind of deck exists. I don't think I'm going to be able to play a game with it right now, but like, I don't even know that this I kind of messed up, so I don't know that I'll be able to really play a game with this deck, but just to show that you can. It's something you can do. It's possible. These decks are really fun and definitely quite doable. So, thanks for watching, and yeah, there's not much else to say. I hope you enjoyed, and I'd actually love to see your custom decks. What are your favorite cards? What would you put together to make a deck that's non-archetyped? So yeah, let me know down in the comments section below a deck list. I know that'll make a long comment, but I'd love to see it. So thanks for watching. See ya.